Originally, I wanted to bring more questions to this video, like how long should a game be, the quality of the game, and that kind of stuff, but I believe some of those things are already explained. So, right to the point. Why Monster Hunter shouldn't be a live service game? And to objectively talk about that, I need to jump into another game. Just to clarify, I am not going to talk about crappy mechanics like loot boxes, season passes, and things like that. I want to give Monster Hunter the best of chances, and even doing that, at the very least in my eyes, it fails miserably. So, to do that, we need to go first to Amsterdam. From there, we are going to go really high in the sky. Welcome to EVE Online. EVE Online is a MMORPG launched since May 2003, so it has been out there for over 18 years now. I have played EVE for around 7 to 8 years, more or less. And the first thing about live service games is that you do not precisely pay an X amount of money and that's it. In reality, you pay for a subscription. And to be crystal clear, in EVE Online, there are not many young people, because they can't pay a subscription for that long. Also, the game is really technical in many things. Perhaps, for many young people out there, this game doesn't look entertaining. So let's say now that Monster Hunter is a live service game. How long are you willing to pay an X amount for this kind of game? As an adult, sure, here you go. But for younger people, sometimes they can have 1-2 games per year, or things like that. And being realistic, Monster Hunter is targeted to a wider audience. In other words, it is going to lock many people out there not being able to play it. That is the first point. As I explained at the beginning of the video, I am going to give Monster Hunter the best of chances, so we are going to come back to this idea. The second is the amount of activities you have in EVE Online. Here the career path is just crazy. There are a lot of things you can do, and some require a lot of experience and practice. Some are easy but risky, and many people play this game for several reasons. Some to mines, scam, manufacture, PvP, PvE, you name it. There are a lot of activities, and even with 8 years of experience, there are a lot of many things that I can't do. Monster Hunter doesn't have that many activities, or at least as a newer player, correct me if I am wrong. But here, we hunt monsters and craft things to repeat again with another monster? Am I wrong? The average time I've seen EVE players stick to the game is around 2 years. After that, most of them move on to another game, and that's completely fine, don't get me wrong. There is also another important thing to keep in mind. There are no BS mechanics like in many other games, where you can't do a certain activity whenever you want, so let's also keep that for later. In this kind of games, there are different ways to add or improve the gameplay. At the beginning, it was updated twice per year, and that's it. Nowadays, there are many updates throughout the year. If we are realistic with this idea, Monster Hunter players just burn through the content to upload a video the next day. And be the first one to have the spotlight. You can blame me for that too. I got lucky and had several orbs, made the Bowser's armor set, and there you go. In other words, if Monster Hunter were a live service game, how many updates do you think Capcom should upload for us to keep the things fresh? 1 per month? And how many monsters per update? Here, we just go through the content like crazy. First day of the patch, and there are many people out there with everything. It's unrealistic what we want in this case. I mean, I love 2.0 so much because there were many things to do. But in 3.0, there aren't that many. So at least we are talking about 3-4 monsters per month. And because of that, the game can take another route to keep our hunger in check. Crafting in Rise is so simple compared with other games. where you have to grind days and days. Being honest, I don't wanna hunt 20 times the same monster to get one piece of equipment. Or something like that, I don't know. And for how we consume games nowadays, that is a solution. Or lucky has to hunt a certain monster a number of times and then lock the quest. Being honest, that could make the game really tedious. So now, let's go back with the idea of Monster Hunter and the subscription. In EVE Online, after several years the devs added a subscription in a clever way for many people to keep playing, without having to pay real money. I won't jump into many details, but we need to get a good amount in game cash to buy a subscription from another player and keep our game running for another month. Let's add something like that in Monster Hunter. How many materials should you exchange for something like that? And then there would be an in-game complex economy, and I am not sure Capcom wants to keep something like that running. CCP hires 3 economists or something like that to keep the money flow in check, real and in-game, and then activities. I don't see myself hunting over and over and over and over again in a never-ending cycle. So 3.0 was something good or tragic, you decide. Because now we can focus in another game, have fun, play something different, recharge our hunting batteries and come back for the ultimate expansion or the next Monster Hunter, with fresher ideas. That is another important thing. In EVE Online there are many factors. One of those is human condition. We humans don't like changes, and we all have seen it, or at the very least lived it. Don't believe me? 2020 was an interesting year, and there were many people out there that got crazy because of the lockdown. In EVE, every time there is a change, buff, nerf, of things, there is an uproar. I don't wanna be mean nor anything like that, but if you believe that there is drama here in Monster Hunter, you haven't seen anything. And even comparing Pokemon or Smash, if people tells you from what kind of disease you are going to die and when, don't believe me? You can watch that video if you want. The levels of salt in an average EVE player is around 80%. It's just crazy sometimes. There are also things that EVE players do right. I mean, there are really impressive things out there, so let's not be that mean also for them. And let's be realistic. There is a need to balance or change from time to time to keep everything in check. Perhaps in Monster Hunter there is not that much need because there is not a competitive factor. But to put an example, I'll just say this. Camellia's Gunlands. Many weapons, mechanics, skills out there need a balance from time to time. And sometimes in those balances, weapons, skills get nerfed. And after playing many online games, I've seen the salt many times because of nerfs, even in broken mechanics. As you can see, Monster Hunter should be kept the way it is. It's much healthier that way. Capcom can come with new ideas and add a twist or two in the next game and have fun. That is also another point. The gaming industry is a business, and from experience, Capcom wants to milk games to the death. We are going to have many more Monster Hunters out there, my boys. Some are going to be better than others, that is a fact. If you think Monster Hunter should be a live service game, let me know why.